Hey everybody, today we have a Toro Recycler 22-inch that is like brand new. Look how clean the muffler is. It belonged to somebody, they bought it, they didn't put any oil in it. They ran it, they destroyed the rod broke. So this is actually the crank that was in the mower that we tried to clean up and it didn't clean up properly. So we got a new crank and a rod, and we put it all together, but we have the cam out of time. So we have to take it back apart again to put the cam back in time properly. So this cover's already been taken off, so that cover's coming off. We're going to take the pull start off to get the pull cord out of the way. We're going to flip it over, take the blade out, and get all the bolts out of the motor to the deck, and then we'll come back and we'll show you where we're at with this. Alrighty, we got the motor off the base. We got it upside down now. All it took was 3 half-inch bolts that bolt here, here, and here, and then the motor comes off. We took off the cable here to get it out of the way. We took the blade off, which is a 5/8 16 millimeter. So now we're going to take off the bottom bolts of the case, which are 3/8. So there's a bunch of 3/8 bolts. And we're also going to have to take off the pulley, because this is a self-propelled. We'll get the pulley assembly off so we can get the bottom of the case off the motor. Alright, since we've already had this apart one time before, we put anti-seize on it. So the pulley mechanism came right off. Then there's 7 bolts to hold on the lower cover. Now we're into the engine. Unfortunately with these engines now, they're using a lot of plastic pieces. This is part of the governor right here. This is the cam gear, and of course this is the crankshaft with the crank gear, and of course they're all plastic now. They used to be steel. Even if you look down inside there, the camshaft's plastic with a steel sleeve internally, when they used to be all steel, or at least cast. So now what you have to do is figure out where the alignment marks are. I do believe that is going to be the alignment mark on the cam, and then on the crank, since we have the old crank, we can look at this one, and I do believe it's this one right here with like the little arrow. So we're going to roll it around and see if anything lines up right, and go. And of course we ripped the gasket, so I don't know if we're going to be able to get that back in there or not. Alright, we got the 2 marks lined up. There is like a indentation on the crank gear, and then there's this indentation on the cam gear. I don't know how we didn't get it together the first time, but we got it together now. It looks like it's correct. Problem. The new gasket ripped. So we're going to attempt to make a new gasket. So what we're going to do is, I have the gasket material stapled down here. I'm going to take black spray paint, and we are going to put a coat of black paint on this. Very wet. All right, now back over here. And now we're going to push this down on the paper. And then lift up. And we don't have a perfect pattern of what we needed because it's not perfectly flat.
Or this isn't perfectly flat.
Or probably because the board isn't perfectly flat. But it gave us something that we could probably figure out. Right here is straight, so that's straight. There's the bolt hole there.
We might have some of the gasket.
And we might have still some of the old gasket that we can put down to use.
Okay, that's that. Okay, where's your pencil?
This is that there.
Okay, you got.
But actually, there's a bolt hole here somewhere. So, what do we miss? I think we're missing this curve here, and this bolt hole, and this bolt hole. That looks pretty good. That's straight. All that looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Is this that?
Hold on, let's get this here. We're missing the bolt hole here.
What part is that? Is that that?
Yeah, I think we already have that.
So we're just missing that. Oh, is this it? Here it is.
There we go. Actually, we're pretty close on the bolt hole there too, and straight. I don't know why this is like
I
this.
think it's a manufacturing tab
thing.
or something.
All right.
It could be straight. And
This probably strengthens this.
and then this right here. And go on that side, yeah.
All right, let's see. Do we have a completely covered area now?
How's that?
All right, looks like we have almost a completely covered area now, and we'll just go ahead and connect that over there like that. So we got a sharp pair of scissors, and then I have a brand new heavy-duty hollow punch to punch the holes. So this will be great. We'll open this up. We'll take a look at this. All right, well, we're getting ready to cut this gasket out. So we just got this new Neoco 10-piece heavy-duty hollow punch kit, and inside the kit you get several different sizes: 3/8 quarter, 5/16, 3/8, half-inch, 5/16, 25 32nds, 1 inch, and 1 1/4. That's why I bought it, because I really wanted the big ones. It comes with the tool that has a center punch in it, and the center punch is spring-loaded, so when you can line it up. And then the dies, we're probably going to need 5/16. Just screw on, and then you're all ready. You can come in, line your hole up, and then you smack it with a hammer. All right, we went ahead and punched the holes out. So I want to show you that the punch has a self-centering punch here, so you can line it up in the hole. So basically what you do is you put it wherever you want it, and then you just tap it with a hammer, give it a little turn, and then the round piece comes out. So these things are really great when you're making a gasket. So now we got the X-Acto knife out, and we're going to go ahead and cut the inside out first with the X-Acto knife, and then we'll come back and I have a sharp pair of scissors and we'll do the outside. So I do believe, you know what we need to? I know what we need. Straight edge. This, there are some straight lines, so we'll use this to do our straight lines.
It's not critical.
Yeah, it's not that critical, so we'll go ahead and come in here like this.
I can freehand it faster.
And we can also freehand it. So just take and come to about there. And we'll just continue to cut it out, and we can always trim it up later, but there's plenty of room inside the engine, so if there's a little bit overhanging, it's not going to make any difference. All right, so we got our gasket cut out. The outside doesn't really matter except over here by the starter, so it's going to be a little bit big on the outside, and our holes were a little bit off here and here, so we just elongated the holes. We do have a little bit of form gasket that we'll use to put this back together. I know some people are saying, why didn't you take a ball peen hammer and hit it? But you can do that, but we were trying this, but unfortunately this table isn't level. If this table would have been level, the paint trick would have worked completely. So now we're putting the governor / oil slinger back in to get ready to put the bottom cover of the motor back together. All right, we went ahead and put a light coating of form gasket around the outside, and then here is our homemade gasket that fits okay. We have the oil slinger and the governor back in place, and this edge here, there's a boss inside here that keeps it from moving around. All right, go ahead and put that on there. A lot easier. And there it's on. We'll get the bolts back in. We'll get it back on the deck and see if we have it in time. All right, we got the motor back on. We didn't put the front cover back on. We want to make sure it runs. All right, somebody pull it over. And of course, it's going to smoke because we had it upside down. Self-propelled work. Self-propelled works. All right, stop for a second. Can we rev it up and try to... All right, well, we got the cam in time now, and the mower run. It's smoking real bad because we had it upside down, and the oil got, you know, through the valves and everything, and really on the back of the piston. But I think there's something wrong with the governor because I have to manually rev it up. The governor's not free. When the rod broke in this, it must have broke or bent. It didn't break. When the rod broke, it must have bent the governor because it's really, really stiff. And see how it's not springing back like it should. So I do believe we're going to have to go back in this engine and probably replace that governor piece. All right, everybody, we're going to leave this one at this. Go ahead and see if it'll start back up. It doesn't have any type of throttle control, right? Doesn't have a throttle control, so there's something wrong. Something's bent. Probably the governor arm inside is bent when the rod broke, but it does run now from replacing the crank and the broken rod. All right, everybody, we'll leave this one here. Please subscribe. You can always do that in this corner. Please give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you don't like the videos. Please share, please subscribe. All right, bonus footage time. So this is the governor here. See how it's springing back now? The rod was bent and was rubbing on the crankcase vent tube. So now I think we have it taken care of. Let's see if it works. Now we can rev it up. Go for it. Alrighty, there we go. We thought maybe that the governor was bent, but we went ahead and pulled the gas tank off, and we saw that the governor rod somehow got bent and was rubbing on the crankcase vent tube. So this one's done. We'll just put the top cover back on it, and this one is done. Alright, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching the bonus footage. Okay, here we go. We got bonus footage number 2. This mower, we have we know this mower has been sitting for at least, what, year?
About a year.
About a year. So we got it from our neighbors about a year ago. Go ahead. The battery is still charged up for the electric start. Unbelievable. So this mower here, they got out of the trash pretty much. Actually, the neighbor gave it to us because they didn't put any oil in it and they broke the rod. All right, everybody. Thanks for checking out bonus footage number 2.